Recently, I went on a little trip in the wintertime, and little did I know it that the furnace had a bad heat exchanger that caused the flame tube to push the flame out and pop the flame sensor that's located up here where the little arrow is. Now, the thermostat told me that there was a problem, but it couldn't restart the furnace whatsoever. So, unfortunately, even though the fan kept running, it didn't start the furnace and it froze. Now I take plans, I turn this valve off every time I leave, and that's the main water valve, but I didn't drain the house, and that was a mistake. This resulted in shattered pipes, broken faucets, broken controls, just hairline cracks of the connectors, and with guilty little puddles all around them. Made a phone call to Holt House Heating and Appliance, and they came out and they popped that little sensor up there. It was the simplest thing that got it running again. But at that point, the damage had been done. The toilets were frozen solid, and the only way I could get them loose is having a cocktail of ice melt and antifreeze. I needed to isolate the water upstairs, so I put in these ball valves, and then expected the first major repair, which is right at that connector right there, which is hot water that led to the utility room. So I had water in the utility room and the kitchen sink, so that's not bad. But I didn't have any showers, and I didn't have any working toilets for a while, which made for it very uncomfortable. So both bathrooms were affected, actually. The shower was busted on the hot water side. The cold water side on the sink was broken, and I had to crawl underneath here to repair these two areas. But I did get them all working, and I had to replace the toilet. So that toilet went bye-bye as well. Well, you remember this one at the beginning of the video? The faucet with the blown out nozzle? Well, that has been replaced with this one, and so has the sprayer, since the handle on the sprayer was blown out too. These are the pipes underneath the sink in the bathroom upstairs. Both pipes broke at the connectors you see there and the bend, so they had to be replaced. In order to do that, I had to cut the floor out of the cabinet just to be able to put in all this extra pipe to fix that.
Later.
The floor of the cabinet was replaced with the help of some furring strips in order to support it. And then after screwing it down, I put the caulking around, as you see there. This would make it easier, because if this ever happens again, and it could very well happen again, so that it doesn't have to be a hard cut to take it out. Just scrape away the caulking, and it's soft enough that you could probably pull up that floor again and effect a repair. And it'll disappear if I just put some contact paper down, so it's not that big of a deal, just to make it easy in case it has to be accessed again. Unfortunately, so I need to get access to the upstairs shower, and then I have a panel for that. So I'm in the process here to remove the panel to access the shower back. I knew it was not good. There was some problems with trying to get water through it, and if one side doesn't work, the other side won't work either. It's part of the anti-scald control, I believe. I may be wrong on that, but it was cracked at connectors again, hairline cracks, and it's just leaking like it is right there. And I was able to effect a repair and get that down. Both sides were fixed, but after that, I could still hear water running in between the floors. So in order to take a look at what's going on with that, I dropped the line down. I didn't want to drill where I could hit that water line and have to tear out the wall to fix it. So remove the molding, drilled a hole to access the area with an endoscope. So putting the endoscope in, I could see pretty well, but I couldn't tell necessarily where water was running enough to make noise. I could see the pipe. Those are the pipes being shown with a little purple arrow. You could see the pipes. There's that one and the one coming back toward where I'm standing. So moving farther down the wall, opposite of the sink, I drilled this access hole for the scope so that possibly we could see where the water is. And the scope showed there was water, but I couldn't tell if it was the connector or the pipe that was leaking. I couldn't see the water rolling. But I also wanted to check to see if I had other leaks, so I opened up the fixture in the ceiling of the kitchen, but didn't get to see anything there either. So with measurements and precise estimation, I established where possibly the pipes would be with the laser, demarked an area where I could drill a hole probably safely, so without drilling through a pipe. Put the scope through to see if I could see any water, but no. So I had to cut this big massive hole to get some access in that area, because I knew it was kind of in that area, but it was a bit messy, and messes are messes. And to add to that, we did a test to see where the water was. Okay, just kidding. So I made a template be able to cut the drywall out, and then cut the drywall as close as possible to the template. Put it up using these metal clips that are really pretty good for holding drywall up. That was kind of a new thing I've seen. And it worked. It worked very nicely, so I was able to do a preliminary mud to fill in the cracks, whatever the missed with the template. Make sure it's snugged up tight. After this initial mudding, I taped it and started putting more mud on properly, and I was lucky that I was able to get it quite smooth, so I didn't have to sand it, matter of fact, at all. And you can see it setting up nicely there. Through the miracle of paint and ignoring certain sight lines, it turned out looking not too bad. These are the pieces to the shower upstairs that shattered, the two-part. I was able to get those parts in and get this buttoned up pretty quickly. Once they were in, it didn't take too long, so that worked out. After a couple of back orders, it was a few weeks, they were able to get the heat exchanger in and get that replaced. That was nice. The furnace is now all buttoned up, and a big thank you to Holt House Heating and Appliance, and thanks for watching.